Here with LFC golf head coach Eric Wyrick. Coach, just wrapped up Blue Raider Kickoff, both victories on the men and women's side. Let's start with the women. How'd you feel they played today?
Man, what a fantastic day today for Blue Raider golf, first and foremost. Our women played some of the best golf we've seen them in the last year and a half. We had some really good low rounds. We had some good rounds in the middle part of our lineup and the back end of our lineup. So all in all, top to bottom, I'm very, very pleased with our performance, and certainly very happy to see some of those good numbers on the board.
You put 3 on the all-tournament team on the women's side. You get the top medalist in Tara Rodenhurst. How did she play today?
Yeah, she played really solid. She didn't make any mistakes, really. Obviously, to shoot a few under par is certainly special when it comes to women's golf, but to do it kind of in the conditions, playing in the rain, to be able to avoid those mistakes is pretty important, and she was able to do that. Made a lot of pars, made enough birdies, knocked some putts in, things like that. She made it look really easy, honestly. So.
You mentioned the rain. How was there some dampness to the course? How did that affect today's round as compared to yesterday's?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of an interesting dynamic. By no means is the golf course something that just overpowers you, but it's all the little things. I call it kind of a nagging thing. Just a little bit of rain can add moisture to greens, obviously make the green speeds inconsistent, gets all your clubs wet, gets everything just kind of damp, and it can mess with your mind a little bit, but it certainly adds some elements as far as making the grass a little bit harder, rough, and some inconsistencies with the strike and stuff like that. So it certainly adds something to it, a little bit more difficult for sure.
All right, let's talk about the men now. It was tight there at the end, ended up pulling it out by 1 stroke. What was your feeling kind of as the last couple holes were being played, knowing how close it was?
Yeah, it's good to see us come out on top. Obviously, Shawnee State gave us all we wanted this week, and I thought those guys played very, very well. And obviously we were fortunate to come out, but like we've said, we're still a little bit young, and I expect some mistakes, but we played a little sloppy at moments today, and I really just think that kind of caught up with us, and really fortunate to come out on top more than anything.
You get a couple of conference teams here. Is it good to kind of get your freshmen, get them going, get those collegiate jitters, get them just ready to play collegiate golf?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is we have a lot of different guys that some have some experience over the past couple years, and some of our juniors and sophomores. But trying to get that first tournament out of the way is obviously very important, just because it's one of those things where it's hard to stress to them about how difficult that is to manage from a mental state, and like you mentioned, jitters are certainly something that's hard to prepare for, because every kid's a little bit different when it comes to that. But luckily our guys, I think, were able to look at it and say, okay, this isn't as hard as maybe I was thinking in my head at the time, today and yesterday. And so from this point on, we're just going to make sure we're identifying those mistakes that were made and giving them some reassurance to find confidence moving into the next event.
Coach, congratulations on the wins today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.